Hello, welcome to MC's Production School. It's a little series here on my YouTube channel for teaching people how to make their streams and YouTube recordings better. And I want people to learn from this. And it's a series that I'm doing on my Patreon page, kind of semi-exclusively. Basically, anybody who is a patron on my Patreon page, $10 or more, they get these videos a month early. So if you're interested inside that, feel free to check out the video link or the description. The link inside the description, and check it out. I have all sorts of stuff on my Patreon page. But if not, and you want to watch these videos a month after they come out, that's fine. Welcome. I'm glad you're here. Today we're talking about stream layouts. Of course, this is what you see on a stream or on a YouTube video in some instances, the actual layout. We're talking about the video. We're not talking about the audio. We're talking exclusively about the video layout. And I'm going to teach you how I kind of go about making my own. And we're gonna dive right into it. What do you guys think? Let's dive right into it. Magic transition. What do you guys think about that? So before we jump into the blank canvas that we have on Photoshop, and again, you don't have to use Photoshop. You can use GIMP or Paint.net. Sometimes I even make stream layouts on paper before I go into XSplit. So let's talk about what is on a stream. So let's think, okay, I'm starting my stream. What type of things do I want people to see? Oh, I want people to see my camera. I want people to see, I don't know, like maybe I have a sub goal going on. If I reach 5 subs, I eat a watermelon live on stream, or a durian. That's better because it's actually kind of sour fruit, or it's a bitter fruit. So I don't know. Let's say we have, alerts, stream alerts. You got, hey, I got a new subscriber. I got a new follower, new donation, new bits, blah, 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 blah. And of course, you gotta have a progress bar. Like, let's say you're doing a challenge, and it's like, I'm 58% done with my challenge. Gotta have a progress bar. And let's say, of course, the one and be all, the game. You gotta have the game. Now that you have a list, all right, you might have more, you might have less. Some people only have a game and a camera, and guess what? You're the true all-stars. Sometimes people just have the game, and that makes things a lot easier on you. You probably don't even need to watch this video. You probably already get it, but you might want to watch it anyway because I have a few mini tips. Anyways. We know what we're going to have on our stream, but before we go and try to put these all into Photoshop, let's think about a better order for them. What is the most important thing on your stream? And in many cases, it's the game. In fact, most people, the game should be the big focus. What else? Camera after that. People want to see you most. Then, probably your stream alerts so people can see those easily. And then your sub goal and probably your progress bar is probably a little less important. So you've ordered these by importance now. And we can take this information and we can, put it aside, keep it in mind as we build this. So the first thing we want to add is our game, like I mentioned. So I just have a example here. I have Ocarina of Time, good old be-all. Now, some people, when they have a 4x3 game, they commit what I believe is our first cardinal sin of stream layouts. And they do something like this when they bring their game into XSplit. They're like, well, I don't have a webcam. I don't have stream alerts or anything else. I want to make sure everybody can see this at its maximum resolution. And they do this. And this is terrible because the game is not supposed to look like this. When you stretch a game out, you're stretching it. It doesn't look right. Those letters aren't supposed to be that long. The hearts are too big. Link's got an ultra wide booty. Can't say that. He's young Link. Wait until adult Link. Then we can talk about him. All right, let's go. Let's Control Z real quick. Boom. So leave your game at the original aspect ratio. Don't change it. This is like #1 thing. If you're like, okay, if you're doing a 16:9 game, if you're playing Overwatch, I don't have an Overwatch example. Leave it 16:9. Don't squish it down to 4:3. I've seen that in some instances too. And also, don't do this. Don't do that. Don't do that. That's like the same thing as stretching it out the other way. Next, related to this, sometimes people's capture cards are weird, and they might you might put on your capture card and you might see something like this, and the game will look a little bit. It looks pretty, right? But you may notice when you have your game plugged in, it doesn't look quite 4:3. Do some like examining of like original artwork from the game or original screenshots, and fix up your camera's aspect ratio or your game's aspect ratio as much as you can. Now, let's say the only thing I was doing on my stream was having the game. Guess what? Right here, this stream layout we got right now, look at it. Appreciate it. It's beautiful. You know what you might do to polish this up? I'm going to have to quickly dive into a folder to grab this because I didn't have the asset ready. It's a great time for my hard drive to spend a long time spinning up. Really? Okay, there we go. 2017. Background. You just might put in a background. Boom. I put it behind the black. There we go. Boom. Stream layout. Done. You know what you might do here just to add some flair? This is something that you do kind of maybe in a different way. And I'm sorry that I can't teach you exactly what I'm doing here. But you might add a little drop shadow. You see that? Look right here. Look right here. No drop shadow. Beautiful. And one way I like to do this, if I want to add a drop shadow, I'm actually going to drop the distance down to 0, increase the size, and I can go over drop shadows another day. One thing I like to do is just take the game and just drop the fill opacity. And see, now all we have here is the shadows. And then if we went into Explo and we just put this, like, rendered this image out, like this is just one image right here, you can put your game in here and the game should just fit up right with the shadows. So, hey, you're in. Anyways, let's, what's that? We don't want to talk about that yet. Let's turn this fill opacity up. Let's turn the drop shadow off. Okay. But this is not usually the only thing that you want to have on your stream, right? You usually want to have a webcam. So let's put this game aside because we obviously can't fit our webcam in over here. I mean, we could, but it would look a little silly. It look very small. It look even smaller than what my webcam is right here on this screen. So let's put this to the side. Let's make a sidebar. Wrong! You've messed up, MC. So I just put the game to the left. And why is this terrible? Why should the game always be aligned right if you have to have a sidebar? Let me tell you why. Let's put that drop shadow back on. Looks good. Let's get rid of it. I'll tell you why. Because let's imagine over here where my layers are and where my color palette is, my swatches. Let's pretend this is where the Twitch chat is, because that's where it would be on Twitch and Mixer and YouTube. The chat's always on the right. What you want to do is make it easy for the people who are watching your stream. You want their eyes to not have to work hard. And so if the game is the most important thing, let's say they're here, like pretend my mouse cursor is where my eyes are focused. I'm watching Link. I see. Looking at the hearts. Over to chat. Back. What's MC's face doing? Oh, he's reacting. That's cool. There's a stream alert. Blah blah blah. So if your eyes are mostly going to be on the game, which if you determine that's where your main focus is, that should make sense. You don't want your eyes to have to travel as far and have to go past, a webcam and everything. It makes sense for the game to be on the right, just because it's easier, because that's where the chat is. Anyways, let's pretend we have a webcam. I'm just going to use this photo of myself as a webcam. Now, some people I've seen try to make the most use of their sidebar as possible and keep it as much of their face as possible, and we see things like this occasionally. Let's put that drop shadow back on. Let's get rid of the drop shadow. So yeah, this is bad. Do you want me to tell you why this is bad? Because it's too close. I know online it's not the same thing as in person, and you can't smell my breath right now, which probably smells slightly like pad thai because that's what I had for lunch. But you can't smell my breath. You can't feel my hair. But you know what you can do? You can feel too close to me. So let's just say let's pop this camera open. This is good. Why my camera's good here is because I have this dead air around me, and you feel like you're about a real distance away from me. So we're talking, and you're about that far away from me, because when you're talking to a person, you usually can see chest up, and that makes sense. Unless you're looking down, well, that's the case. It's a little weird. Why are you looking at my campy shirt? All right. But if you have the webcam like this, it's like you're really close to the person talking at them. And even if you're not talking really creepily, it's still creepy because you're way too close to me, and you can see the scruff on my skin. You don't want that. You don't want that. So position your camera a little bit far away, and we can fix that up right now, just in our simulation, like this. Now let's say, all right, let's say that we put our webcam down. We've got a little bit of dead air around us, a little bit more. Beautiful. All right, so this is our webcam. And let's say we cropped out a little bit here. Crop out the top. Boop. Got all this free space up here. We've added in our game. We've added in our self. Oh, we forgot about our alerts, didn't we? All right, so I got this little stream alert here from Google as an example. So first things first, this is not the correct size of stream alert. This is also the wrong size. This is about good because you can read the text. Sometimes what I like to do is this. I like to lean back in my seat and see if I can still read the text. One thing you got to consider is sometimes people are watching on TVs, so they have bigger screens, and sometimes people are watching on their mobile phone, so you got to make sure that's good. So next, where do we put this alert? Oh, there's so many possibilities. How about right here? How about right there? No, don't do that. That's where link is. How about right here? No, that's where the hearts are. That's one of the most crucial pieces of information in the video game. How about right here? No! People, when they donate, they love to see your reaction. Don't put it over there. Down here. All right, it's cut off now. How about here? You're cutting off the rupees, but you know what? That's fine. You know, maybe right here would be fine, although that looks a little dorky. Usually you want to keep it right aligned. Right here seems good. You want to try to avoid going over the game as much as possible, but if you're going to put it over the game, at least choose an area of the game where it makes sense. Don't choose here. Don't choose here. Don't choose here. This is meh, but you know what? People aren't going to really be looking at the mini map. You might be looking at the mini map. Let's just say we're putting our alert here. Oh, who's the new follower for today? Anybody have any ideas? How about Cheese Man? What a horrible font! What a horrible font! Where's my text? Sorry, I just got a new computer installation here, so I have to redo some of my settings here. Let's choose a better font. Let's choose good old Abrima Bold. That's one of the fonts we use a lot for Zeldathon. Just because it's installed everywhere, it makes it easy. But we're trying to get away from that just because it's so usual, like recognizable. Congratulations, thank you, Cheeseman. Oh, hey, why'd you do that? Why'd you do that silly thing? There you go. All right, so we got our stream alert. What about our progress bar? I don't have an image for that. I don't have an example image for that, but we can just use a rectangle. So let's just let's say we have this is our progress bar. In fact, we can simulate it real quick just by making it a gradient. Let's just put it at 0. Ooh, that looks good. Let's actually put it at like 60 something. 768. Let's reverse it. All right, there we go. We have a progress bar. It's a progress bar. And we'll think about this in a second. I mean, we could put it down here. That's fine. But in a lot of instances, you kind of got to downscale your game. And so, like, sometimes, you know, when I do my every Zelda streams, the progress bar looks more like this. In the instance of this, you know what you do? You scale your game down just a touch. Just make sure you're not clipping out necessary information. That's the big thing. And then, you know, that's fine. You know, I like to say make the game as big as possible, but sometimes you got to downscale it a little bit. So let's just, for the sake of everything, this is a done stream layout. We have this extra space. This is what I like to call fun space. We can put whatever we want here. You know, at this point, make it your own branding. You know, go ahead and put your own, like, I opened up something in Google Chrome. Not what I intended. Put your, ooh, see you later, PNG data. Put your little image, put your little logo, put whatever you want here. Guess what? This is your space now. Make it yours. Make it happy. You know, put Titus in there. Do whatever you want. Happy days all around. Anyways, let's get rid of these. Let's get rid of these for a second. Now let's talk about some more things not to do. Oh wait, we forgot about our sub goal, didn't we? Oh, no we didn't. Got this free space right here. Sub goal. 2 out of 5. All right, so what are we doing here, first of all? What am I already messing up with my stream layout? I'll tell you what I'm messing up. You can't read the dang text. So what about this, MC? What about this? Okay, this looks unprofessional as hecky. At least make it bold. Make sure it's white text. Make sure it stands out. Like, you could do some nice stuff here so it kind of like fades in a little bit. Something like this. So that way it's still noticeable, but it's also not distracting. You don't want to have this. You can't read that. You're getting a little bit more readable here. I think this looks ugly, but you know, play around. This color picker, you should get so used to using this. It's your friend. Have fun with it. You know? Let's choose a better font. Let's make our stream spooky. Where's the spooky font? It's October, you know? Oof, how about that? That's ugly. Don't do that. I don't know where the spooky font is. I'm sorry. Yeah, there we go. Fine. That looks a little ugly, but it works. Sub goal. All right, so we got all this in here. Let's just get rid of the word cheese man just for the sake of moving things around. Now let's talk about more things not to do. Let's talk about more things not to do. And we're going to use our friend, the rectangle here that I showed earlier. This is a border. This is useless. So let's get rid of our sub goal for now. Let's get rid of our progress bar. So let's say you have this border here in place, and you have, I'm sorry. This border is also kind of annoying to deal with while I'm trying to edit things. So you have your border, and some people like to use these to make their stream look more their own. Like if you had a pink stream, you might use this one, and so on and so forth. They might do this. You know, this border could be pink. It could be patterned. It could be looking all sorts of different things. But just imagine you have a border. And I think this is, and once again, this video series is only my personal opinions. If you disagree with me, so be it. I just think very strongly about this because I think it's bad. And I think it's awful. And I think it's a waste of space. You're just wasting pixels on my screen. I don't care about this. It's dead space. You know, we have this dead space here because we already got our necessary assets in. But sometimes I'll see people do this. And this is something that I see a lot of times. You know, we're gonna kind of go off the wall here. So sometimes I see people start their stream layouts, and let's just hide everything. Some people start their stream layouts with a rectangle. Like, actually, let's not make it a rectangle. Let's make it. Let's go full bad stream layout. Let's go as bad stream layout as I can possibly do here. Things aren't loading very fast. Okay, here we go. This is a great example. So I have here my postcard. This artwork that somebody made for me, and I'm very proud of it, and I want it to be the basis of my stream layout, I say. And you know what? I gotta think about things. I think about, all right, I'm gonna have video games, so I see this a lot of times. People do this. It's like, all right, well, gotta put my game right there. My webcam will go right here. And gotta make sure we put on our logo here. Where'd I put my logo? Channel branding. Where'd I put my logo? Here it is. It's the Twitch logo. I put it right here, and you know I gotta make sure everybody knows about my Instagram and everything, and they put their Instagram logos and everything here, like down in this area, and they put like GIFs on it, and this is a travesty. Like, yes, it works. You can do this. I'm not saying you can't do this. If you want to do this, you know, be my guest. I just think it's a huge waste of space because guess what? And some people will do this. They'll stretch their game out to fit that little box. Looks awful. It looks awful. Sometimes it's nicer backgrounds. It's not just a postcard that I put in, but like it's a gradient or whatever. Sometimes it's more, you know, it's more this. But it's just ugly. It's just bad. Look at all this wasted pixels up here. You know, when people come to your stream, they want to see stuff. And you know what they don't care about? Your gradient background. They care about seeing the maximum amount of video game as they possibly can. Now, I don't know the exact 4:3 on this anymore. I've lost it. It looks something around that, I think. You know, don't waste space. Don't waste space. You know, keep things simple. Avoid having borders. Don't stretch the game, and try not to obscure the game. Don't like if you're gonna have your webcam over your game. Don't obscure necessary bits. Just remember not to obscure necessary bits. Remember the importance. Remember that list. I can't stress that enough. That list we made. Remember it. Live by it. The game is the most important. Then your camera. Then your alerts. then your sub goal, then the progress bar, and keep it that way. Now, but what can you do to make it your own? So play with the dead space that you have there. If you want to put on your cool gradient that you have, use that space to put it in there. You know, use that space to put in your cool gradient. Like, ooh, I love these colors. I love yellow, red, and blue. If you actually use these colors, something's wrong with you. But yeah, just be smart and use the space effectively. Don't just screw it up. Decorate your camera. One thing I do on my stream is I have this nice background. Yes, it's acoustic foam for a purpose. It's used for, you know, padding the walls between I have a townhouse, so there's somebody on the other side of that wall. But also, it just looks good. You know, put up lights, put up, you know, little LED lights, put your favorite things behind you. Just make your camera more attractive that way. You know, that's a good way. But okay. MC Gamer. Uh-oh, says MC. I have a problem. So I'm going to download some quick assets for this. 1 second. I hear this all the time. MC Gamer. I got a 16:9 game. What do I do? What do I do? I want to put my webcam on there. Well, of course, the easy solution, and the one that not everybody can do, is a green screen. And a lot of people have these. Some people don't, and that's okay if you don't. I'll talk about that in a second. You know, some people are able just to have a green screen, and they can just, you know, of course, that's not the best chroma key in the world, but let's just pretend it is. They will put themselves down here. Don't put yourself over the information. Don't put it over the information. No. Good. Also good. You can put it over Zarya. It's not a big deal. But let's say you don't have you don't have a green screen. Let's say you don't have that. I need to put in my webcam again. Let's bring my webcam back into play here. In fact, let's pretend that we're actually cropping it down here to only the stuff that matters. Okay, that's your webcam. Where do you put it? Do you put it down here? I mean, that can work. You don't want to obscure a lot of information, but let's say it's a game where you need to have every inch non-obscured. That's what we do during Zellathon. Scale it down a little bit. Leave your sidebar. You got this. You got this going on. No, let's get rid of that gradient, shall we? And this is fine. You know, it's okay if you have to downscale 16:9 game a little bit. What I personally like to do after that is I like to take a copy of the game, and I like to do a little bit of trimming on it like this. And I know it doesn't make sense yet. You're not seeing the actual trim. I like to trim it down. I like to scale it up. Let's just scale it up. Make sure it's flat. I like to put it behind the existing game, and then what I like to do is desaturate it and darken it. Of course, I can't do all that real quick here, but I like to darken it so that way you still have the effect of the game. Like when the game is moving, you'll see like things move down here, but it's not like distracting. That's one thing I like to do. I'm sorry, I'm running a little out of things I want to talk about here. I think I've gotten everything on my list. But I think this is the basics of it. This is the basics of it. I mean, if we want to look at Zeldathon real quick as an example, what's up, man? Let's go to twitch.tv/SuperMCGamer. Let's look at Zeldathon as an example real quick. All right, so I couldn't for some reason load up everything that I wanted to here. But you can see what we have, a Zeldathon stream layout right here. I got a still from Zeldathon Recovery. And I try to maintain all of my rules that I just mentioned to you. What are the most important things? The game is important. Oops, can't zoom here. Can't do that. The game is important. The camera is important. The stream alerts are also important. And this information, it comes after that. And, you know, I think that we use Zeldathon space effectively. We have very few borders. We have this like thin line here. We have the thin line around that. And on Minish Cap, Game Boy Advance games are actually not 4:3. They're actually a little bit more widescreen than a lot of other games. And so we do have that instance of the widescreen black bars that I was talking about where I scale up the image and darken it. But you can see here, it's important that we have this camera where you can see everybody's face. but we're not too close. We're not too close. And it's just looking at, when you think about these things, I try to follow these rules. You know, the Oracle games, I scaled the game up as much as possible, and that's a good instance right there. Here's instead of Triforce Heroes, where it's a little bit different. Of course, the Majora's Mask, we put it up to the maximum. We get rid of all those black bars around it. The Adventure Link, thank goodness, you're a game where it's perfect. It's perfect right there. And if you just look at some of these layouts that we use for the games, well, a lot of tingle. It follows my rules, and you see here how I have like a maximum width. That's the maximum width that I use for the 16:9 games. I don't know if any of this is making sense, but I hope it is. And we try our dang best to make sure we follow these rules. Of course, here is an instance that a lot of people, something like this was posted to bad stream layouts because we had our boss cam up, because there's a few cutscenes and a few bosses in the DS games where both screens are necessary. Usually it looks like this. Well, it doesn't actually look like that because this is even a cutscene. But we went to this, and some people put it on bad stream layouts, but we're trying our best, because like this has to be like the only thing that we could have done better would be to put the game on the left to gain like this much width right here, this area right here I'm pointing out with my mouse. Like we could have gained that much more width, which means the game would have been like that much bigger, like maybe 50 pixels, and it's not worth it, because then if we did that, we'd have to push our game or our camera to the right, and then everybody wouldn't be looking at the game. You see how we do this, by the way? This is very important to me. The camera makes it look like we're looking at the game, even though the game is there, like that's where the TV is. It makes it look like we're looking at the game. Shouts to Megan. Yeah, so there's a couple bosses where it looks like this, and you know it's very few and far between. But yet this is what was posted to bad stream layouts, and I'm like, come on, you can't do this to me. You can't do this to me. Not when we have like really great stream layouts overall. To be able to fit this many people in a camera, have it look really good, and you know, we have the races. You know, this is something that we do. I'm not a huge fan of how we have to do races. I try to avoid races honestly because of this. But we still keep the game as big as possible, and we show the second game. And you know, our thing that's important is that we keep the webcam big, because a lot of people come to Zeldathon for, you know, the people, the players. You know, of course, we have Zeldathon Adventure, where we actually first experimented, and this is a bad stream layout. So this was a mistake of a layout here. So we tried something different, because we knew that a lot of people came to Zeldathon and they liked watching us. Now, this was before the big renaissance of stream layouts happened for us. You know, in an ideal world, the game, we would have been facing it. Like the camera would have been on the other side of the couch, so that way it looked like, you know, we were looking at the game. But it's a mess. I understand. You know, it was a beta, but you know, we had the same spirit, the same desire of what we wanted today, and I think that we've learned from that. And I'm sorry if I'm rambling at this point. I'm going to end off this video. Anyways, bring it back to my camera. Hey, I hope this made sense. As always, please, if you have questions or thoughts or things that you would like me to expand upon, post them inside the YouTube comments, or if you're one of the Patreon supporters, in the Patreon comments. I'm going to read them all, and I'm going to respond to them all as much as I possibly can. Thank you, as always, to all the patrons who make this possible. And of course, next month we're going to be doing a thing about cameras, a buying guide. What type of camera should you buy? What type of webcam? Up to the big fancy honking cameras. What makes sense based on your budget and your desires. So anyways, thank you again to all the patrons who made this possible. Very much appreciated. There's folks on the right of this video that you can give special links to for being producers. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all on the next one.